Hello, survivors. Welcome to the new world. If you want a cubbyhole, here's the right place. Here in the garage, you can learn a lot about the wastes straight from the devs. It goes without saying, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you see. Our guys appreciated this very much. It's go time. A quick reminder about our special die giveaway. When we have 75,000 subscribers on this channel, the garage owners will give a unique die to everyone entering the game. Any survivor will get it just by launching Crossout. The time of the giveaway will be limited, but the die is exclusive. If you're still doubting for some reason, subscribe and get your friends to do the same. As soon as we hit 75,000 subscribers, we'll tell in detail how to get the trophy. There were no special orders for craft analysis in the comment section this week, and this is why we make a classic move and roll out two most liked user rides from the exhibition. The first of them is Scorpion Mach 1. One more walking ride based on the Karakurt cabin. Much like the updated walker from the previous episode, most of this ride attraction comes from the trendy part bonuses, notably good acceleration and maneuverability, drivability at its best. The weaponry is interesting. Combined, there's a pulse accelerator for middle-range battles and two flamethrowers for close-range fights. They're set on the sides of the cabin. This is why it's impossible to shoot it point-blank. The poor fella trying to do so will be quickly roasted until golden brown. Additional ammo loads are more than enough here. No need to worry for bullets. Despite good acceleration, Scorpion's top speed could have been better. You can't ignore the assembly set as well. Lots of necessary parts can't be called exactly affordable. Top Race Craft. It's all in the name. This craft is for speed lovers to win races. Combination of hovers and aero accelerators allows for flash-like start and unbelievable speed during the race. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Our viewers approved previous crafting advice from the 21st episode, and this is why we've decided to continue. Judging by forum messages and comments, we've concluded that some players have misconceptions about several fundamental mechanics. The most confusing are structure parameters and damage, as well as tonnage and speed penalty. This is why today in the advice section, we will tell you a bit more about these parameters and their functioning principles. Let's start with structure. Each object in Crossout has a set value of this parameter. Conceptually, it's pretty much the same as durability or health. This is the total damage a part can withstand until it's destroyed. In terms of structure, the most important part is a cabin. When it's destroyed, the whole craft explodes. At the same time, if any other part is destroyed, you're still in the game and can continue fighting. But each part has its own functionality, which you lose when it's terminated. Without a wheel or a hover, it'll be tougher to drive. Without weapons, tougher to fight. And without a scope, tougher to aim. The biggest trick in crafting is to accurately calculate the structure points allocation. There are categories of parts which increase cabin structure parameters. They're assigned with a corresponding phrase. Modules, weaponry, including close-range combat, engines, bumpers, wheels usually don't have any influence on structure. After the recent update, frames underlying the basis of a ride are also in this list. Damage is also calculated in its own way. There's a double pass system in Crossout. If you draw an imaginary line, tracing out a flight trajectory of a fired missile, all the parts in its way will get damage. When the first barrier is destroyed, the missile hits the second and deals the remaining damage points. Some parts, like grids, get damaged by default. When you shoot at a ride, the damage is shown with white and yellow digits. First, reflect the damage to common parts. Second, to a cabin and explosive modules. Parts which don't add structure to a craft might be destroyed by shooting at them or at supporting parts. However, their structure is, in fact, separated from the vehicle. We will now intentionally add several of these parts to a ride. As you can see, structure points of the whole craft don't change. Let's now cover the cabin with a bumper. The situation is different. If the craft is shot at from the front, the damage won't get through. But if from the sides or from behind, the damage is right here. The goal of competent crafting is to accurately calculate how to cover the cabin with armor so that the damage is minimal and the ride stays as long as possible on the battlefield. But you also have to pay attention to the weaponry, moving and additional help modules so that you don't lose the bonuses in the heat of the battle. And don't forget about mass and speed as well. Let's get to these now. The cabin deserves attention not only in terms of damage, it also, in many respects, defines the permissible amount of installed details, and along with them, the total speed. It's important to notice that the limit of details depends not only on mass. To install more parts on your craft and create more advanced crafts, you need to increase your level in mechanics faction. But that's a bit different story. The tonnage of a craft is formed by the cabin and is displayed as one of the parameters. It can be increased by additional modules, but not nearly as massively. Installed parts gradually deduct the remaining weight parameters. If mass exceeds tonnage, the acceleration and max speed penalties start significantly growing. The overbalance of the threshold then leads to ban from combat. The allowable weight can be exceeded only when you're 100% sure that the installed modules will prove its value. But the big penalty is usually an indicator that there are some serious construction defects. You should probably reconsider a bit your idea of an appropriate ride. This seems to be quite enough info for today. We again ask you to leave some words in the comments. If you're okay with this, our gunsmiths will continue working on the third, the most detailed advice episode. After the tremors ceased and the dust settled, the rocks once again became an insurmountable obstacle separating the east and the west. Survivors had to look for new routes, and even the most complicated of them immediately became trade routes, and they weren't only used for trade. Wrath of Khan is a ravine. It was through this ravine that the lunatics came to the valley, having lost many fighters in the campaign. Later, more convenient roads were laid and only a handful of deserters remained in the gorge. When oil was discovered under the canyon, this small patch of land became a hotspot once again. Where there is wealth, there are also gunshots, blood, and explosions. It's always like this in the wastes. There's an abandoned base inside, and the surface itself is dissected with cliffs on quite impressive playgrounds. This is the PvE Defense Mode Arena, and the landscape of the map is loyal to both quick light crafts and slow armored mastodons. Survivors have to fight off superior enemy forces trying to destroy pump jacks. Despite the fact that a road passes through the whole map and there are relatively open areas on both sides, opponents can surprise players with an ambush or an attack from the rear. There are lots of blind areas and opportunities for hide and seek. Apart from the well-tried and hardened team combined with critical alertness, there's nothing else to recommend for a win. Time to check what bothered you most last week. I really want a melee with contact weaponry, like with big and red circular saws. We'll think about it, not sure about big and red though. Bots in raids have cabins unavailable to common players. How's that? This is completely normal. Raiders, one can say, have a secondary job as our testers. After some time, these parts become available to everyone. Can you make the world map not fidget when I move over the cursor? We constantly enhance the interface and will consider your request. Well, that's it for today, survivors. Looking forward to seeing you in a week to spill yet more facts about the Waste's battles. Don't waste your time. Gain experience and toughen up in fights. Also, subscribe. And do me a favor, will you? Tell your friends about this show. Leave comments below. It's important for us to know your opinions. Be seeing ya.